Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chats. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong live for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well. Hello, good morning, folks. Good to see a few of you up and at it already. The early birds are there. Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats for Thursday. Do a few warm-ups and intros while things are getting going. For anyone who's new around here, Jason Witten's my name. Some of you know that already, which is great. However, if you're new, if you're popping by and you're just finding us for the first time, welcome along. Great to have you here. Thanks for joining us for Wealth Coffee Chats this morning. What do we do in Wealth Coffee Chats? Well, folks, we've been having these conversations, these pontifications, these opinionations on property investing for a few years now. Each morning at about 8:10, we get together with a few keen beans, keen investors, and we talk about the idea of property investing and what is going on out there in the marketplace. And, over the last 20 plus years, I've been helping Aussies around Australia and New Zealand, actually Aussies and Kiwis, with the team, help them invest and successfully build a property portfolio. So that's what we get up to here in the mornings, usually about 15, 20 minutes, just little bite-sized chunks, little snackable bits of information and content for you, for me, as property investors to stay on track, see if we can't keep ourselves on target for our property investing ideas. We've got a couple of sayings around here. Buy well, don't sell. Buy good properties and keep them until they do what they need to do. And this morning, that's what I want to talk to you about when it comes to what I call a predictable, proven system of wealth when it comes to property investing. So we're going to have a bit of a yarn, bit of a conversation about that this morning. So hang around, stick with me. That's what we're going to talk about. And right after having a quick hello, my mouse has gone a bit haywire here. Something's gone astray. 2 seconds, folks. Always happens when you go live on a show. You go live and then something goes wrong. Anyway, let's see if we can get things back on track here. Oh, there we go. Anyway, thanks for being patient. There you go. But anyway, let's talk about this morning. A proven, predictable system of wealth when it comes to the idea of property investing. What does that mean, Jason? That just sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Well, all right. Well, let's talk about that as we go along this morning. But quick shout out to Luke. Morning, Luke. Good to see you, mate. Bunty's in the house as well. Alex, how you doing? Nintendo is there as well. Mick, good morning. All right. Well, let's talk about this idea of a proven, predictable system of wealth and what I mean by that. What do we mean when it comes to the world of property investing? Well, let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this and get involved in the chat and play along at home, whatever that means. Now, tell me, for most investors that I talk to, all right, here we go. Someone's in there doing some weird spamming. Anyway, most investors I talk to want some sort of wealth, some passive income from their property investing, or they're investing for their future. And so, that usually lands, folks. That usually lands when it comes to the world of property investing. When I sit down with people, it usually lands between, let's say, 100 and 200K. So let's just put in here. You can see it down there. Hopefully you can see it. Tell me if it's too small. Maybe it might be this morning. I was going to try and share the screen, but this should be all right. 200K, right? And the idea is like, okay, we might need, a minimum of 100K between two people. That's, 50K for you, 50K for me, away we go. And then we might want a bit more, and we might have some other, fun, dreamy things that we want to do when it comes to the world of creating a passive income for you, me, and our future. So how do we do that? What's it look like in the world of property investing? Well, let's do that step by step here this morning, all right? So some of you have seen this sort of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday type of thing. The conversations usually that I have with many of you is that, all right, I want to replace my income. Or I want to create a passive income that goes to work. I want some assets that goes to work so you don't have to. All right, so you don't have to. And that is usually what we all aspire to when it comes to the world of property investing. So how do we do that? Let's do a very high level but powerful conversation this morning about a very predictable process of creating wealth and unlocking your ability to replace your income and create a passive income in the future. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about this. All right, the idea for me, for you, when we sit down and chat with property investors is that most of us, there's a few business owners on this morning, so maybe that's a bit different for you, but most of us go to work Monday to Friday, we exchange time for money. We want to replace our income, or we want to buy back our life, our week, one day at a time. How do we do that? Here's the strategy, here's the conversation, here's the process. Every day of the week that you want to replace your income with, we purchase a property. Now, what does that end up at when it comes to the number of properties we might want to purchase? It's usually between 5 and 7. It depends if you want some of your investments to work on the weekend for you. All right, so let's just have a look at this. Let's just say at this moment in time, you can buy this property for $700. It gets $700 a week. So $700 a week, and that would equal $30,000 of rent for the year, okay? You buy a $700,000 property, it rents for $700 a week per week. At this moment in time, you get $30,000 of rent for the year, and you would get, starting out, but over time, you would get a significant amount of tax deductions, and we'll talk about that in a minute, all right? So in the first 10 years, you'd get a significant amount of tax deductions. On average, let's just go and quickly have a look over here. On average, in the first 5 years, you can't really see that. In the first 5 years, you'd get $80,000 worth of tax deductions. All right, so let's just do that. 80, let's put $100,000 worth of tax deductions in there. One property this week, and we're going to name this property Monday. Hello, Monday. All right. Hello, Monday. That's our Monday. Okay. 700K, $700 per week rent. That's $30K a year and $100,000 worth of tax deductions. All right. 35K rent, is it, Luke? All right. Well, there you go. Did I get the math wrong? Well, that's even better. 35K. Thanks, Luke. 35K. So, here's how it works. All right. Now, you get your first property done. These are the rough numbers. And I'm just going to do this in a linear fashion so I can show the example of what we might do. Now, this process might take us, usually takes most investors between 5 and 10 years to complete, depending on how quick you get going. But, let's buy Tuesday, we get going. A few more years later, we buy Wednesday, we buy Thursday, and then we buy Friday, right? This is the function of replacing our income, creating a passive income in the future. One property per day of the week, and you can add 2 more if you want for Saturday and Sunday. Now, this seems pretty straightforward, right, when it comes to this sort of stuff. But, let's have a look at what that ends up being. Let's say we were able to do that in a linear fashion, let's say in a 5 or 7 year period, right? So if we've got our 5 properties, that's $3.5 million worth of assets, all right? If we've got our $35,000 of rent, that is $175,000 of rent, okay? And if you have a bit of a look, that's $500,000 worth of tax deductions. So rent, value, $3.5 million worth of value, $175,000 worth of rent, $500,000 worth of tax deductions. Let's say we're able to accumulate that and achieve that within a 10-year period, maybe even sooner, okay? Maybe even sooner, all right? This is the foundation of what we want to try and go after. Now, I've done plenty of other Wealth Coffee chats on this idea, but the accumulation phase, the acquisition phase of your property investing will need to be supported by your income. Now, it might be positive cash flow after tax. Maybe it's even a little bit negative cash flow after tax, and you've got to put, $200, $300, $500 a month into your portfolio. All right. There is nothing wrong with that. The idea, I don't know where this stupid idea came from, that the only way to own property, investment property is it's got to be positive cash flow. That's dumb. That's stupid. It's not possible for every property. Certainly you shouldn't own every property in that space. But often better quality properties have a lower cash flow for certain circumstances. But anyway, there's the foundation. We've got our 5 properties, et cetera, et cetera. So what does that do? Well, over time, we get to claim tax deductions, right? Tax deductions. This $175,000 worth of income right here, right? Those tax deductions right there, or that rental income plus the tax deductions here. If someone was on, and I've done this math a heap of times, if you were on $100,000, that would mean you would have a 25% tax rate, okay? 25% tax rate using these depreciation tax deductions. You could get your tax rate down to single digits, right? With depreciation, negative gearing, and tax back, okay? So we're earning $175,000 in rent. We own $3.5 million worth of real estate. We've got $500,000 worth of tax deductions over 10 years. It reduces our personal income tax down. it increases our after-tax cash flow to cover the cost of our assets and ownership of our real estate, okay? At the same time, you are making sure that your loan structures, your lending structures are set up in the correct way. Now, put that in the chat for me. What do I mean by your lending structures, especially for your principal place of residence and all of your loans are set up in the right way? Put it in the chat for me. What do I mean by that, folks? What do I mean by are your lending structures set up correctly? And I won't dive into this today too deeply, but what do we all need to understand how to make the most of what we're creating here? This is kind of the proven, predictable system of wealth. Acquire a number of assets that are positive cash flow after tax or neutral, if you can have that happen. Set up the right lending structures that all incomes go into what? An offset account. That offset account smashes down your home loan, right? And you can pay off a $650,000 mortgage doing it the right way in under 15 years, saving yourself $291,000, 291 grand, right? So let's go to this next bit. Let's give our portfolio some time. You know, over the last 30 years, houses and apartments have gone up. Houses have gone up 450%. Apartments or units have gone up 306%. So it's been pretty good. You know, doubled and tripled in value, all of them. Of recent times, I don't know if you can see this. This is the weekly asking price of properties in Australia for SQM research, which is interesting. The average at the moment is 6.4% over the last 10 years, 6.4. And the change in rents on average has been 5.1 per annum. Why do I show you that? Because let's have a look at this is how this thing really kicks on. The time to your property values doubling, if you get 7% growth on average with your properties, your values will double in 10 years. If you get 5% growth, your values will double in 14 years. All right? Okay? So we're saying, all right, well, maybe 14 years, but maybe 10, depending on the quality of the property we buy. Rents do grow a little bit slower than the values. Right? So if you get rental growth at 3% or rental growth at 5%, your rents would double in 15 years and your rents would double in 24 years in this circumstance. Right. So everyone following along, let's bring this home for today's conversation. All right. So hopefully that doesn't. There we go. Right. So our values, so we're going to say 15 years. Now, what is our value on our real estate, right? 15 years, our value on our real estate is $7 million. 7 million. Your rent now has doubled in 15 years. Now your rent is $350,000 a year. The tax deductions now are over. So the tax deductions on the property, oh, that's terrible, isn't it? That yellow. Let me do that a bit better. Let's do this. So your property values, 7 million. Your rent, 350,000. You have no tax deductions anymore. You've paid your home off. You are debt-free, folks. Debt-free on your PPR, principal place of residence. So you have zero debt on your home. You've got a portfolio that's worth 7 million. Your rents are 350,000. Your loan to value ratio on your debt on your investments is probably sub 50%, right? Because from year sort of 25 or
from the 5th year or maybe even from the 10th year, you kick it into principal and interest. I'd do it into year 10, so probably value 50, 40, 50%. Okay. So really straightforward. One property per day of the week that you want to replace. Understand the quality of that property will influence the time to doubling the value of your real estate and doubling the rent of your real estate. Use the tax deductions on the way to minimize your taxable income after tax or before tax, after tax. Use that to pay your own home off, your principal place of residence debt off, because that is a non-deductible debt. And that's just the first layer, folks, of this system of wealth, because the next piece of the system of wealth, and I might do this actually tomorrow or another day, the next piece of this is to accelerate the wealth from here. That's your wealth foundation. You know, put your team in play. You know, get your goals, your finance, your debt-free, your properties locked away. And then we talk about this hold, highest and best use and passive income phase when we accelerate out into, you know, another version of what we might do. We might use that equity to generate more income, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, there you go. That makes sense this morning. Hopefully that was useful. I thought it might have been time to, you know, sometimes check in and have a bit of a kick on with that one as we go. There you go. All good. All right, folks. That's it. Wealth Coffee Chat done and dusted today. Good to see you guys here. Thanks for joining. And yeah, tomorrow it's Finance Friday, so you'll be joining Brad tomorrow. Brad Teft, he'll be kicking along, and I'm sure he'll have some insights what's going on in the world of finance. So that's something to look forward to. But that's it from me today, folks. Wealth Coffee Chat done and dusted. Thanks for hanging out. Good to see ya. And bye for now.
Episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6 Star team here at positivementor.com.au.